far back in the land of Obudu Kingdom, found in the eastern side of Nigeria. This village was known for its numerous sacrifices, idol worship and unsettling wars with other villagers. Different kinds of evil was practiced in the village by the king. People were forced to offer sacrifices to the idols and the gods of their land. Infant, every Eid day was marked out as a day for every first meal of every family to offer a concoction of boiled yam and red oil to his personal gods. The village was dwelling on this path till one day, the white preacher visited the land and preached to them about God in heaven and also performed many miracles. Healed the sick and brought salvation to the land of Obudu Kingdom. They stopped worshipping their gods including the king. They also made peace with their enemies. This brought joy to the people of Obudu Kingdom as they experienced a better life than before. The missionaries guided them by opening church in the village where they go every Sunday to worship and serve God. This continued for years and they lived in love and harmony with other villagers. However, many years after, when the generation had passed on, their children began to live a life that pleased them. They no longer attend church or even offer sacrifice to the gods. One night around 1 a.m. in the early morning, the villagers were woken by the strange and shocking noise by Lucy. Lucy was an evil cat sent by the gods of anger and death to destroy the villagers. He went around the village saying, "I have come to feast on your flesh and marry on your blood." The next morning, everyone in the village was shocked and terrified, including the animals. "Do you hear that noise?" They kept on asking each other even in the marketplace. The king convened an emergency meeting with the chief priest, who informed him that the gods were unwilling to communicate with him. "We are doomed," the elders exclaimed in despair. "What course of action can we take now?" One of the elders inquired. "To exercise extreme vigilance," the king replied. That night, the villagers ensured that their doors were securely closed before retiring to bed. Some were unable to sleep, anticipating the voice, but nothing occurred. After 2 nights had passed, and when no one expected to hear the noise, Lucy emerged from the darkness. Mrs. Okoro, who was breastfeeding her baby at the time, became terrified when she heard the voice. She immediately woke her husband. "You left me. You no longer worship me. So I have come to your feast on your flesh and marry on your blood," Lucy cried. Before Mr. Okoro and his wife could shout or run, Lucy appeared and killed them, leaving only the little baby alive. The following morning, the cry of the baby drew the attention of the neighbors to Mr. Okoro's residence. When the baby refused to stop crying since early morning, they investigated further. What they saw made their spines run cold, and their bodies shivered. Mr. Okoro and his wife lay lifeless on the ground, their heads gone. They cried and shouted, drawing the attention of more villagers. What happened to them? Who killed them? They kept on asking each other because no one heard or knew that Lucy, the evil cat, came to the village that night except Mr. Okoro and his wife. 2 days after the tragedy, Motsi Ava was in a dream when he saw Lucy trying to kill him, and he woke up to his shock. He saw Lucy staring at him by the corner of his room. With his eyes shining fiercely and his teeth wide open, ready to bounce on Motsi Ava. "You left me. You stopped worshipping me. Now I have come with anger and vengeance to feast on your flesh and marry on your blood," Lucy said, his voice echoing in the room. His wife, who was sleeping beside him, woke up shivering, trying to hide at the back of her husband. Before they could shout, Lucy also bounced on them and disappeared with their heads. The following morning, their 6-year-old daughter, Amanda, was the one who told the villagers that it was Lucy, the evil cat, that killed her parents. The villagers were shocked and confused at the same time. Following numerous deaths and tragedies in the land of Obudu Kingdom, the chief priest performed various sacrifices in an attempt to communicate with the gods, but to no avail. The gods refused to respond to the people of Obudu Kingdom, causing increased fear and confusion among the villagers. As no one knew who the next victim would be, except the bloodthirsty evil cat. Some villagers fled their homes to seek refuge in neighboring villages, which they perceived as safer. One day, when the elders and kinsmen gathered again to explore possible solutions to save the land from further deaths, Motsi Okofor, the kingmaker, suggested visiting the revered Aguma shrine in their neighborhood. The idea was well received, and the king appointed 3 elders to consult the Aguma shrine, hoping to find answers, as their gods had refused to communicate with them. "You have offended the gods of your land," the native doctor began. "You neglected to offer sacrifices to them, as your ancestors did. Now, they have sent the evil cat to consume the entire village in anger, sparing not even the animals. What must we do to appease the gods' anger?" the elders inquired. "Life for life. Blood for blood. If you desire to save the villagers' lives, a sacrifice of life and blood must be offered to the gods to appease them. You must sacrifice 4 virgin girls and 2 virgin boys, all above 18 years old, to appease them. If not, more deaths will occur, exceeding the previous ones," the native doctor replied. At this point, the elders realized they were doomed forever, as they wondered where they would find virgins of that age. Their way coming back, they encountered a white missionary and, having heard extensively about the white man's God, implored him to pray for their land. The missionary, pleased with the warm reception from the strangers in their land, followed them. He delivered a salvation message to the people, prayed for them, and healed the sick. Suddenly, the sky transformed as rain began to fall. The villagers erupted in jubilation, having not experienced rainfall in 2 years. From that day forward, the villagers were completely free from the evil cat's attacks. Crops thrived, yielding bountiful harvests in the land. The people of Obudu Kingdom continued to serve and worship the living God, and they lived happily for generations to come. The end. Moral lesson. Sometimes, our current experiences are a result of our ancestors' actions, emphasizing the importance of vigilance and prayer, as the devil seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. Thank you for watching this captivating story.